What's up, everybody? So just as I am about to go live.
Yes. Like right now.
I saw something from Close Guitars.
Yes.
You know, the little carbon fiber guitars?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a new guitar. Speaking of shapes, you saw the thumbnail. It's a new guitar shape, but it's an electric guitar from Close Guitars.
Oh.
So I'm going to like put my foot in the door to see if I can get one of the new thing that I just saw that I don't know that they're sharing with everybody yet. But it's really, really cool.
How did you see it then?
They shared a little piece of it on Instagram, but I think I know what it is. And he's like, we're going to show it tomorrow. So, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Hope you all are doing good. It's our live Q&A this week. Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Apparently there's a bunch of people in the comments. I see you have them there and there. Hello, everyone. So you saw the thumbnail. I want to get this out right away, and then we're going to answer a couple of questions from Patreon, and then we'll do that thing because I want people to get in the comments. So I encourage you to, I don't know if you're a podcast person or not, but you probably are if you follow my stuff. Follow and subscribe to the Tone Mob podcast. Blake Weiland is a friend of mine. He's got a really good podcast, and he has really cool guests. And this week he had Mark Agnesi from Gibson, and we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday. But this is a different crowd, and some things came up in my comments the YouTube comments over the last couple days. Mark Agnesi talked about the legacy of Gibson versus what people think they want. And basically what he said, in not so many words, was everybody says they want new shapes, but they don't actually, because that's not what they're buying. And somebody in my comments today said, basically the same thing, like, I don't want to buy any Gibsons anymore because they're not innovating. And so I asked him a genuine question. This was not screwing around. It was a genuine question. What do you want to see innovation-wise? Is this a new shape? Is this a new what? What is it? This is that constant question because people are like super stuck to, and I'm going to show you some original shapes tonight that are new and cool. I actually have physical guitars here in the studio that I'm going to show you tonight that are not traditional shapes. But we're going to talk about what kind of goes along with that. There's an expected thing that happens every time a new shape comes out. And also there are some physical limitations to how the guitar is played that makes all of this a thing. So get in the comments and really think about this. What do you want to see innovation-wise? Because it's an interesting conversation to have, and I think there's no wrong answers here. These Thursday things. I've been having fun doing this, like asking questions that are like, I really want to know what people actually think about stuff. Of course, that's going to lead to technical questions. If you have questions, guitar related or not, doesn't matter. You can get in the comments, in the chat, and Leslie will try to find them. Put a bunch of question marks in front of them. Ask all the question in one chat. Apparently that makes it easier. And use a super chat if you want us to stop what we're doing and answer, like right now.
Thanks for the super chat, curly leg hair.
Dude, not only is that a new name, I've not seen you curly leg hair. I mean, metaphorically, I have seen you curly leg hair, but not you curly leg hair. Thanks for the super chat. And welcome.
Gibson innovated with robot tuners, snap-on pickguards, etc., and caught nothing but flack for it.
Amen to that. So, okay, let's talk about this a little bit.
Thanks for the super chat, Curly.
Thank you so much. And you know what? I forgot didn't think about those things. I'm glad you brought them up. There's some real relevance to what you brought up. Here's why. Everybody looks at robo-tuners on a Gibson as the worst thing ever to hit guitar land ever in the world. The thing is that they've already been around. The company is a very successful company who makes robo-tuners. Very successful. It is actually a very good product. It works really well, and there is a lot of applications where it is helpful. I have a good friend who gigs like 200 nights a year, and he plays a couple of guitars, and he has actually put them on other guitars. He says they're really good, and I know a lot of people that think that. The only reason they kind of failed is because in 2016, they forced everyone. It was not an option. They put them on everything, and it was not an option. And I think people's hair bristled up to that. And because of that, that entire range of guitars for all the years, because that's not the only year Gibson made those, but that was the only year that they made you purchase that feature. The little adjustable nuts that they had to change out for titanium, the wider neck, and the robo-tuners, they were all great features, but they were marketed incorrectly. And as a result, they made a mess of it. But they were really good features. And I will die on that hill. Anybody can argue or fight me on that, but those were really good features that should be options. To this day, I think every brand should have those as options for the people that want them. Great point to bring up. What else we got going over there?
Just lots of comments on. You want to hear some?
Yeah, let's go through them.
All right. Just have to call it somewhere. Again, these just dump in any random order. Trevor Rossi, form follows function. If new forms affect function, they will struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey Newman, I like the titanium adjustable nut and the access heel joint Gibson did on the HP models.
See, the access heel joint is still available on the HP models, or the modern. I think they call them modern now. But yeah, exactly. They kept that feature available.
Dan of New Jersey. Did you see the latest lawsuit between Gibson and Heritage? Very interesting. Gibson may have cornered themselves into an antitrust ruling.
I don't believe that they're going to lose that. I think that there is... let me say that I don't want to speak on that right now. On Tuesday, on our live stream, we're going to talk about that. But that's going to give me... I just heard about it about 2 hours ago. I'm going to try... I'm going to try to email Beanstalk. I am friends with the lawyer that made it possible for all of us to have Fender shapes, and he has sued Fender, and he's in on all this stuff. I'm going to see if I can email him and see if I can get some good information on that and get a good read on what's going on there. I think there's more to that story than what the first couple paragraphs are telling you that you can find on the internet right now. And so let me find out about that more before we dive into that. But I want to on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I want to dive into that.
BC Rich says, as increasing prices impact the use of woods, I think that builders will have to adjust by making different, smaller bodies. That will save on the cost of woods, the amount of wood used, new shapes.
I think that that's an interesting take for sure. I think the kinds of woods are definitely going to change. They already are changing. You know, I've got that NATO Telecaster, and we had a NATO Stratocaster in here. Neato, however you want to say it. Anyways, there are a lot of woods. I think people have to get over the tone wood thing. They have to. The necessity of availability of wood in various particular parts of the earth, for example, poplar in Indonesia versus alder in Indonesia, you're going to just have to get over it. And you're going to have to realize that wood is wood, and that instead of arguing about it, you should just play the guitar because of availability. So I see your point on that. And I think the kinds of woods are going to change probably more than the shapes. But keep talking about the shapes because I'm interested in that. I want to know what you think for sure.
Sun-based. I like innovations in materials, whether different woods, alternative materials, etc. I'm less interested in onboard electronics.
I get that. I think that's pretty common.
Tony London. I think if there was a new Stratocaster shape model, it would be strange. It wouldn't be a Strat, of course.
Yeah. So what's copying versus innovating? Because this is another hill I'm going to die on. A Silver Sky is not a Strat. It's an evolution of a Strat. And people want to say it's a copy, and it's not. And I think, so how do you do that? How do you take a Strat and make it better? Evolve it. You make a Silver Sky. You fix all the problems that a Strat had, because it did have some. But then everybody thinks it's a copy and that it's a ripoff and they want the original. So where's that? You know what I mean? I get what you're saying.
Eric Davis, technology that increases the versatility of our I don't know, that's not a complete sentence. Technology that increases the versatility of our improves the performance of gear is all I want to see.
Okay, cool.
Patrick Trite. I think there is only a couple of guitar shapes that I don't have but would want. One would be the Dean Cadillac. Two would be a BC Rich bitch.
Yeah, bitch, yeah.
It's an interesting way to spell it. BC Rich 581. Steinberger was innovative, and most headless bass and guitar designs were viewed as basically a fad, no real long-term impact, except as a niche instrument.
Hang right there for a second. You want to see one? I have one. This Chinese company, is this a Donner? Yeah. Donner sent me this to review, and we're going to review it. This is a headless travel guitar. Okay? And this guitar is going to come up later because we're going to talk about functionality, but it's headless. You can hang it on a nail. The tuners are on this end, and it's got it's got these like arms that come out, so it like gives it sort of a guitar shape, so it sits on you right. It's actually really cool. I've played it a few times, and it's really kind of neat. And I think that this sort of thing is becoming more acceptable, I guess. I've got the Close carbon fiber guitar. CloseGuitars.com. Use Tone 10 for 10% off, by the way. I've got the Close carbon fiber guitar. That thing is really cool too. Yeah, this has an asymmetrical neck on it. I mean, really neat. Really neat. For $300 or something. Really cool.
Super chat from Thomas Torville. Thank you for the super chat, Thomas. He says, hi, Dylan and Leslie. Guitar just arrived. All good.
So that would be the fancy blue Strat with the gold pickguard. He just got that today.
That was a nice looking guitar.
It is.
I don't even like gold on guitar.
Same. Me either. It's a neat guitar, though. There's less conversation in here than I was expected about shapes.
I haven't finished. You keep talking.
Well, it is. That's what we do. But go ahead.
I mean, I'm trying to catch up now because sometimes you talk, sometimes you don't. All right. That's probably a question. That's a statement.
That's a statement.
Brian Phelps. That is because while everyone wants innovation from Gibson, then complains, oh, it's not the way they want their Les Paul.
Yes. Yep. Rusty
Fender says, I want an MTB from Gibson.
A mountain bike?
I don't know what an MTB is. Russell Zonner, PRS started using Cort, so I won't buy their guitars anymore.
That's interesting because they make some of the best guitars ever. And their factory is state of the art. Yeah.
All right, and that's a different question, not related to shape. So
That means you can't buy Fender Squires either if you don't like Cord, because some of them are made by Samick, but a lot of them are made by Cord too. Just FYI.
all right, so where are we headed now?
I would just want to see what everybody was saying. Nobody's
Marcia
talking
Murray
about shape
said,
stuff.
I just got a couple of offsets this year, and now that's all I want.
Nice. Hooked on the offset. That's cool.
Let's see. I know you have to give me a chance to catch up.
Oh, that's fine.
Because I think we are.
Okay.
Aiden Valento says, why do we keep using the same shapes?
Hold that thought. We're going to get through these and the super chat, but we're going to get back to that. That's important. Why do we keep using the same shapes?
Why?
That's really important.
Question. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. This is
It's going fast tonight, so thank you. I love it when it's like this, when everybody's...
You love it.
I
I'm
think
trying
it's
to keep up. Okay. Here we go. Thanks for your patience, Doc. Doc, thank you for the super chat. He says, Martini Fund.
You noticed. Yeah. Vodka martini tonight. I didn't have glasses. So I guess we'll say that the $20 that you just reimburses me for the glasses that I just bought. So now I can have martinis. So thank you, Doc, very much. All right. Well, let's talk about that. Why do we use the same shapes? Matt at Texas Toast was talking about this earlier because somebody was asking him, why don't they use their Challenger shape in a base? And he's like, because it hangs on your body wrong and the balance is all weird and you have to, right? So going back to this thing right here, this thing, you have to still maintain the overall sort of ergonomics of an actual guitar shape to be able to play it so that it sits on your lap and it feels kind of like a guitar, even though it doesn't look like one and it's got these coat hangery things on it. So ergonomically, there are limitations. So why do we keep using the same shapes? That is a great question, and I want you to talk about that. It looks like we have another super chat.
Oh, there's your chair squeaking.
Is it?
I'm like, what is that noise? Super chat from Mark Stanton. Thank you for the super chat, Mark. I love that. So, like, Doc, Mark, like, we know these people.
I know, it's great.
Anyway,
You've actually had dinner with both of them.
I'm just going to say it. Thank you for helping me build my new guitar. The pickups really help make this guitar great. You built those
pickups. I didn't build those pickups. That's awesome. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I love doing those workshops. Yeah. So why do we keep using the same shape? Let's bring up the Texas Toast Challenger X. Now, these are on pre-order. You can go to texastoast.com and order these right now for $100 down on a pre-order, and you will get the guitar before you get your Cybertruck. I will tell you that. I'm pretty sure if you order this and put $100 down, and you put $100 down on a Cybertruck, you will get your Challenger X first. That should be the new marketing model. The reason I bring this guitar up is because you can pre-order it. And the reason I have skin in the game on it is because I'm making all of the pickups for this series of guitars. And the pre-order goes to the end of October. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about it.
How is that attached?
This has double-sided tape on it for pictures.
Yeah.
Because when you get this, he's going to give you a pickguard and 3 screws, and you can decide whether you want to drill holes in your guitar and put your pickguard on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's really cool, I think, because some people don't like pickguards, some people do. I wouldn't have a pickguard on it. But Matt is a pickguard guy. He likes pickguards. So he's like, it needs a pickguard. When we were designing he designed the guitar, but I'm saying when we were putting all this together when I was there, he's like, it needs a pickguard. And I'm like, so he just stuck it on there. The reason I bring this guitar up is because this is an interesting design, right? This is, you could say it's a Les Paul Telly acoustic shape. right? With a different kind of horn down here. It's like a melding together of a bunch of different guitar features that um, that so this is an original shape, and even like the way the heel is done, you know, this is an original shaped guitar, but it's familiar. But what happens a lot of times is people will be like, that's just a stupid looking telly, or that doesn't look like a Les Paul or a telly. That's just right. So our brain wants to go to something familiar, and it has to be a good shape. The balance has to be right. It has to sit on your, you know what I mean? Like it has to work. And when you put it on a strap, it's got to hang right. Like, so there are limitations to how a guitar is made. And that's what makes it so tricky to make a new shape. I know for sure that Matt took years to refine this one to one that he likes and that works. And then there's also manufacturing processes that come into it. So if you ever wondered why the cutaway of a Telecaster, for example, this isn't a Telecaster, but if you ever wondered why the cutaway of a Telecaster is a certain shape, it's because they had a drum sander that could sand it. Like there's various manufacturing things too. So there are limitations. That is why we use similar shapes. A lot of that thing comes down to manufacturing more than you realize and how they, make them. So, no, it's really interesting. That being said, new shapes, what would they be? If you could pick anything, if you could pick a new shape, if you could meld two shapes together, what would it be? It's an interesting thing. Yeah.
All right. I50mm says, I want new guitar shapes. That new Fender is sweet. Forgot what it's called. Looks like a future Jaguar. The Gibson Theodore is just ugly.
Yeah, a lot of people have said stuff about that. Also, this actual guitar is still available, so get with Matt at Texas Toast, and you'll be able to get that one. That one's going to have DAFs in it.
We're not there yet. Okay, we'll get to those in a minute.
Actually,
go ahead.
If you order that guitar before, well, I already made the pickups for it. Never mind. It's getting DAFs.
Frederick Kling? I don't know. Any thoughts on the Abasi Concepts guitar? It's a very unique shape for sure.
So there's definitely a function follows form situation. I'm pretty sure that Tosin Abasi designed that guitar after how he plays, because his style is very unique, and I'm fairly certain from what all the things I've read about it and seen in the videos and stuff is that that's because of how he plays and how he holds the guitar and where his hands go and all that kind of stuff. And I think that mattered more than it being classic or that kind of thing.
BJ, I ever play on a microtonal fretted guitar? Microtonal fretted guitar.
No, I haven't, and I've always wanted to. But I have listened a lot to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and that band is all microtonal, and it is really good. It's weird, but it's really good.
Fat Philosopher said Verso and Jen Ritter shapes are unique too. And then there's not a way to be interactive. So he sent me some pictures on Instagram that he wanted me to show you. So there's two pictures. This picture and scroll left.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are some pointy... He likes the metally kind of stuff. So
this is monsongguitars.com. Yep. I don't know if that's just a site where it carries a bunch of things or if that's a brand.
Is it Verso? Are they the ones that have the metal? It looks like a bent piece of metal. Remember we watched a Rhett Shull video the other night at Righteous... He was at Righteous Guitars, and he played that piece of metal guitar that had the pickups that stuck to it, and you could move the pickups back and forth. I'm like, oh, that is the coolest thing ever. It makes me... I have an idea. I'm just saying. I have an idea. But I need to make the pickups for it. So I have an idea. I'm going to leave it at that.
Machu, I think you made another comment. So is there Ernie Ball Kaizen or Kazan guitar?
Yes. Yep.
That's the one they brought up. Brian Zimmerman said, is it the body shape or the pickup configuration that makes it a Strat?
Good question. I think that depends on where you stand on tradition. Because what makes a Telecaster? Is it the pickup in the bridge position? Is it the neck pickup? Is it the shape? What is it? Same question. Stratocaster. Is it 3 single coils once you put a single hum in it, or you put 2 humbuckers in it, or 2 P90s in it, even though everything else about it's a Strat? Is it a Strat anymore? I don't care. I say do whatever you want, but these are the traditional ideas that people get locked into that make all of this so difficult.
Jeffrey Egan, who said he just ordered Challenger X, by the way. Why aren't relic Les Pauls a thing like Strats? Is it because Les Pauls are more prone to breaking that they just don't get beat up like Fenders?
They are. You can order a Murphy Lab Gibson Les Paul. It's basically their custom shop, relic shop. They're amazing. They're beautiful and they're amazing. So you can get them. Vinny.
Super chat from Vinny's World. Thank you very much for the super chat.
He's super chatting from the future.
Can't watch Lab today, but just dropping by to say hi and thanks. And it's for the drink/coffee fund.
Thank you, sir. He's from Hong Kong, so he's actually super chatting from the future.
Well, hopefully Friday is cool.
He already knows.
Philosopher's here too.
Oh yeah, so he's hanging out from the future
so
as well. That's right.
All right. You want to, before we shift into other questions,
sure.
Do you want to do your Patreon
questions?
Questions?
We should. Yeah, we got a couple of them over there.
All right.
There's 2, I think, tonight.
Let's go that way. Oh.
Not that one.
Oh, is that the one I just did?
Yep.
Why does some of them show up there and not other ones?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Rob. Hello, Dylan and Leslie.
Hello, Rob.
Dylan, what is your favorite wiring scheme for a single Strat? Have you found a configuration that you prefer over using the second tone knob to blend the neck pickup with the other 2 pickups? Thank you.
I used to be, I want all these different positions in a Strat. And what I have decided is the only thing I care about is having the bottom tone knob be for the bridge pickup only and the other tone knob be for the other 2 pickups. You just put that little jumper in the switch. That's all I care. Other than that, I want it to be a Strat. 5-way, you know what I mean? A single hum Strat is my #1 favorite. But now that I have that guitar, I don't even care about that because I have that guitar. So I don't get into all of the weird switching stuff anymore. I know a lot of people like to do the blend thing. I think the one thing that I really enjoy, and actually that guitar, that PRS Fiore does it, is you can pull up on one of the knobs and turn the neck pickup on all the time. So it makes it to where you can have the neck and the bridge and all 3 pickups at the same time, which is like a 7-position Strat, if that makes sense. Because the neck and the bridge position on at the same time is a really cool sound that I really, really like. So that might be the only fancy option that I would add to a Strat. Yep. I don't care about the blend, though. Just not my thing.
Shane. Hello, Dylan.
Speaking of Japan.
And Leslie. He's actually still in the hospital, too. He said he's lost 12 pounds so far, and they have to still keep him through the weekend, even though he's feeling better.
Hope you feel better, dude.
Shane. Hello, Dylan and Leslie. After a 2-year search, I finally snagged an Ibanez S470 Lefty. It's a hum single hum. Would there be any fit issues with any of your pickups, considering how thin S-Series Ibanez's Ibanez R.
Ibanez.
What's your single home recommendations for 80s, 90s thrash?
Okay, I would do 2 Super 8s and a Hot 5. And we use the shallow. Oh, in fact, I have one right here. We use the shallow 635 millimeter base plates. They're not the long ones, so they'll fit in your guitar.
So, what are your recommendations?
I told them I would do 2 Super 8s and a Hot 5 in the middle. Yep.
I didn't.
And when you order that set, Shane, because I know you will, I'll just put in a little note that it's going as a set, and I will make sure that I wind them to go together. That's when people buy stuff as a set. If they don't put it in the notes, a lot of times I can still tell. Like if somebody buys, a hum single and a hum, you're like, oh, it's going in the same guitar. So even though we might not have something spec'd to match that particular set, a lot of times I will just make the set match, if that makes sense.
All right. Ready for more questions?
Let's do it.
Or you have something else to
Nope,
just
let's do it.
So the first thing I want to call out, because we're going to ease into pickups here. Rick Bonneville says, should I be the first one to get the new Strat pickups, given that I'm such a narcissistic butthead, LOL? And I sent him a message. I was like, the ones that came out Monday, you're not the first.
No. We've been selling what do old people say? They've been selling like hotcakes.
What old people say that?
I don't know. It's just an old saying. They've been selling like hotcakes.
You old person says that? Because you just did.
I can't get the last olive at the bottom of the glass. Go ahead.
Because your fingers are too big?
Because my fingers are too big. No, the glass is too small.
If you had choked on that, I probably would have laughed. Okay. Rusty Fenders.
I love that name too.
Dylan, I got the 7 1/4 radius guitar that you were so right. I don't have any problem playing it. Forum opinions are overrated. LOL.
I'm glad that you came back and commented about that, because people will get in the comments after a live stream or a video like that where I share that viewpoint. I mean, I had people the other day, like, I had to delete a guy. I had to ban him from the channel because he was like, you are such a narcissistic a-hole, blah, 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 calling me all these names because he disagreed with me. And I'm like, I was trying to get him to explain to me what he was talking about. And he took that as a challenge that he didn't like. And I'm like, I know that it's all an opinion, right? Like it is. And I'm glad that you tried it, even though the forums told you that you should feel a certain way. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy.
Mark Stan said, geez, now I want waffles for dinner. But hotcakes and waffles are not the same thing.
Hotcakes and waffles are not the same thing.
But I'm waffle too.
Mm.
Waffle over pancake.
Well, here's the thing. If we're making it at home, waffles are... man.
We don't have a waffle maker. You make
pancakes
at home.
But here's the thing. Would you, if we had to leave right now, would you rather Waffle House or IHOP?
Right now or like any other day?
No, like right now. If we were hungry for...
I would totally go Waffle House.
Okay. They do have good hash browns too.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do. I get it. Okay. Fair point.
Waffle. Because then you can get a little crunch and it's still fluffy.
That's true.
So you get the best of both worlds.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it can hold your syrup.
I fill up all the holes.
Like a little kid.
I
okay. We have derailed. Now maybe I want waffles for dinner, Mark.
We might go to Waffle House.
Eric Davis, why aren't all frets stainless steel? The durability far outweighs any BS negatives.
No, it does not, because I'll tell you exactly the negative. You don't have to put them in. It is the hardest thing. It's really hard. You have to have a set of tools. You have for that, because you can't use your, well, you can, I guess, but they'll be ruined. Your nickel frets versus your stainless steel frets, separate set of tools. They're harder to crown and polish because they're harder. They're very difficult to install. And I do not think, okay, this is going to be a whole nother episode, but people underestimate the difference in cost of parts and labor for a particular feature. Inlays, binding, stainless steel frets all come to mind. That guitar should be $500 more. And I know you're going to say that Harley Benton does it for $300. I do not care. Any reputable guitar company is going to charge you more for stainless steel frets because it is way more difficult on their tools, their skills, and the materials cost. Big time. And that's why. Because nobody really wants to do it. And it's not that much better. And they sound different.
Tony Leonardi, loving my Strat with the SSH. Thank you. You did a great job and it sounds better. I'm assuming he means than ever. It says thank ever.
Awesome, man. He actually has a loaded pick guard. We converted. I want to say we did he has a deluxe telly that had the wide range cheapy pickups in it, and he's like, why don't we just put regular humbuckers in it? So we did a Chris Shiflett conversion, from Foo Fighters, because he plays a deluxe telly, but it has regular humbuckers in it. So we did a loaded pick guard with, we did a Shiflett conversion. It was awesome. And then he did that other thing too. Cool.
The Tony Cooper, Dylan's P90s are wicked awesome.
Thanks, dude.
And then John OJF says, Roger that on Dylan's P90s. Awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. I wonder if John OJF has a yellow guitar. I feel like I've seen that name before.
Ken Stouffer says, I heard a rumor that my pickup has shipped. Can't wait to try it.
It depends what pickup, depends what pickup it is.
I mean, where would he hear a rumor? It had to be
because he gets a text.
Email.
Well, here's the problem. I've got 3 orders sitting right here that I printed labels for that I had to email the people because as we were getting ready to ship out stuff, we're missing one little part. And because of the Hurricane Ian situation, my main supplier, because the part was supposed to it's going to be here today. But because of Hurricane Ian, my main supplier in Tampa can't ship for 2 weeks. So we had to make a scramble and make a bunch of parts orders from other suppliers that I don't normally use.
He said he had a 51P base.
Oh, yeah, that's on. You should have that probably tomorrow.
Brian Phelps said, my loaded pickguard is slated to arrive tomorrow. Can't wait to install it.
Excellent. Black with white bobbins. Yeah, cool.
A lot of customers in here excited about some stuff.
I'm stoked. That's awesome. We've been working hard, so I'm glad.
You're glad you're working hard?
No, I'm just glad everybody's stoked to get their stuff and they're getting their stuff. And no, it's just fun. It's just fun when it's like this.
Damar, what are your thoughts on the Nags kunai shape?
I think Nags is a very interesting company because
Jono has an E339 Burst.
Oh, okay, cool. I like the Nag stuff because they're another company that said we're going to make the shape kind of like Texas Toast. We're going to take a traditional shape and we're going to stretch it and move it and make it and everything else. Cower is another one. They got that cool looking, bulbously looking offset thing. That's really cool. Not the Thunderbird looking one, but the other one. I like it when people do that.
Josh M., how do you think a Bonneville neck and bridge would sound with a Super 90 middle?
I wouldn't do it. I would do a whole set. That pickup set together is bomb. I would also put it in a single hum setup. But I wouldn't put a different pickup in the middle. Because that middle pickup, which usually sucks on a Strat, is real good.
So you have somebody here that used to work at the Fender Custom Shop, Jimmy Ray Hawkins.
Cool.
During my time at the Fender Custom Shop, I built and worked on Philip Kubicki basses. Myself, Jason Davis, and Scott Buell. Good times. Pain in the butt process, but the results were amazing.
No, that's awesome. Oh, what's his name?
Jimmy Ray Hawkins.
I have not heard his name, but
also
that's awesome.
seems to be a YouTube member, so thank you.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah, awesome. I feel like I skipped something else. Oh, maybe not. Yes, I did. I got that one. All right, sorry, y'all. BER637. Why are stock pickups so bad in many guitars? Would it cost that much more to make a quality stock pickup?
Yeah, it would, because if you spend 50 cents, you got to think about cost of scale, okay? So if you spend 10 cents more on a magnet, or 15 cents more on a magnet, and you multiply that by 600 guitars a day times 30 days out of the month, and they're Strat style, and you have 3 pickups in each one, and they're ceramic, so you have 2 so you got 12 magnets for, because they're these little ceramic things. Then it just becomes huge. And what people don't realize, this is a video that I want to do. If you raise the price, if you have a $100 product, or let's say if you have a $500 product, and you raise the price by the cost of goods by $10, the cost of that guitar has to go up between $30 and $40. I know that without details, that sounds ridiculous, like people are just piling up unnecessary profit, but it's the way cost of goods versus the thing works. Okay, so if you raise $10 in parts in electronics in a guitar, now the guitar's got to be $40 more. On a $500 guitar, now the guitar's $549, right? Ish. That is a huge price increase, percentage-wise, on a guitar that people are already concerned about the price. You know, I've got a $599 Squier Telly sitting over here, and people are flipping out because it's $596, whatever it costs. I don't remember. $599? And if that guitar went up $50, it would absolutely blow everyone's mind, and they'd be super bummed out about it. Over $10 worth of parts to make the guitar just a little bit better. And that is why. And so, and it's not, people want to blame guitar companies for being profit and money grabs and all this kind of stuff. But what you have to remember is that from $299 Affinity or whatever, all the way to the guitars that Mr. Hawkins was making in the custom shop for $15,000, Fender, for example, wants to have every price point covered up through there so that every one of us who is aspiring to be that next level of a guitar player or purchase that next level of instrument has something that is within reach from wherever they are, all the way from $300 to $15,000. And so if you take the $500 guitar and you bump it up 10% in price, it's going to be a make or break for some people. And Fender doesn't want to do that. It sounds, that sounds stupid, but when you get into the business of things, it's really, really important. Somebody gave me a hard time the other day because I was talking about PRS and their $219 optical compressor. And he's like, that's just a money grab. There's no way it costs that much. Well, here's the thing. A $219 compressor, I was doing some quick cost of goods math. I think it means that I'm could be wrong, but pretty close. That compressor would need to be less than $40 in parts. And in 2022, that's very, very hard. So that whole business of economics of business thing plays into all of this. I know it's a really long answer, but I really wanted to dive into that because people really misunderstand that, and then it really upsets them about their hobby, and it's something that needs to be better understood.
Super chat from Mr. Goat. Thank you for the super chat. He says, dumb question of the day. How do I secure the P90 to the pick guard or body on my loaded pick guard? I'm an idiot. Love you guys.
Oh, you need screws. They are 1.5 by 2.
Should he have gotten screws?
I don't supply screws with P90s because most people are retrofitting them to guitars that they already have. But I'm a moron and didn't think about the fact that Mr. Goat was putting together a pickup, putting together a guitar for the first time and may not have those. I should include them with loaded pick guards. Do me a favor and, well, here. We're going to just do this live right now. Thank you for the super chat. Ask the next question, and I'm going to write this on the whiteboard literally right now.
Ooh, it's official, Mr. Goat.
I have a list going for some other stuff.
All right. Doc wants to know, how's the search for gold P90 screws going?
Right now it's locked up because of the whole Florida thing. But I am working on it.
The Florida thing or the hurricane?
The hurricane, yeah, the Florida, my supplier being in Florida hurricane, all my hardware comes through there. So I'm having a hard time with everything, right? It's going to be about 2 weeks actually before I can sort that.
Machu wants to know, where can I buy a white bridge?
Ooh. You could get a white Floyd style double action tremolo from FU Tone, but I don't know any other white bridges.
Oh, it sounded like you were still thinking. Sorry. Top Load Telly. What's your opinion, Dylan? Doesn't a solid body guitar overall sound, regardless of shape, come from about 70% neck, 25% electronics, and only about 5% of the body? Opinion, please.
I think the neck has very little to do with it.
That's very specific.
Everybody says that, but there has been a lot of tests on this, very good ones, by people in like universities and smart people and stuff. The whole bolt on versus glued in versus neck through, and the stuff is so negligible. I'm going to say something that Chris Fesker said earlier tonight on Texas Toast, and he's like, I think it's more the amp than anything. Pickup's an amp, dude. Pickup's an amp speaker. Pickup's an amp speaker. And tone stack in the amp. After watching Jim Lill's video the other day, holy crap, blew my mind. Yeah, those are the things I think. I think nothing else matters. You're not going to sing it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I did listen to that song today, though.
Did you?
Strange enough.
Any very well set up guitar where the nut is properly set up, the strings are ringing crisply, there's no buzzes, there's no loss of energy where it's not supposed to be lost, is going to be a good sounding guitar if the pickups are good and if the amp is good.
Curtis Chavez. Right now, Gibson seems to only be going after bigger competitors for copyright infringement. What are the chances that if Gibson wins, that they'll go after similar or smaller companies and luthiers?
I think people have a weird misconception about Gibson, like they are purposely going around suing the entire world. I do not, in fact, I know that that is not true. And I know that it's hard for people to understand, especially folks that don't own their own businesses or develop their own products. But intellectual property, especially in this day and age with digital theft and, we don't get into politics on this channel, but as you can imagine, there are certain countries that are better at it than others, stealing things. And there are different parts of the world that are more susceptible to intellectual property theft. It's a very big deal. And I know that a lot of people that don't have their own businesses and don't develop their own products don't really get this. But I'll tell you right now that if one of you tried to steal my intellectual property, I'd sue your ass off. I would. Because you have to. That's how it works. Like if you steal my idea, I'm going to come and get it back. And it's going to cost you money. I don't care who you are, whether you're big or little, or because people email me stuff all the time. I've been getting tons of these emails lately. Hey, did you see this Fender is suing this little company and I don't think it's fair. And I go and I look at the thing and it's like, this is the Fender something something musical instrument something something. And I'm like, you can't put Fender and musical instrument in a sentence and not expect them to come sue you. I just think it's a really...
Yeah, I mean, and that is the process.
Right.
It's not personal.
No.
That is the process for them to keep the legality of what they own. Right.
And to keep their brand theirs, and not diluted by other people's stuff. It's a really important thing. I mean, Fender, Chevy will sue you, Ford will sue you, Mickey Mouse will sue you. I heard of a thing today. I was listening to the Chasing Tone podcast with Brian Wampler, where a company came out with a Star Wars themed pedal, and it was loosely Star Wars themed,
Yep.
And Mickey Mouse sued them, and they had to stop making it. Like, it's very important to these brands to keep their own stuff. And I would do exactly the same thing. Exactly. Like, I heard that there's a company in China that ripped off my center punch. I can't do anything about it because there's no... China's different. So I can't do anything about it. But if somebody in the United States said to me, I would. And also the global market changes all of this because certain laws are a certain way. Everybody thought Fender was evil for price gouging. Well, actually, what they were doing was map pricing in Europe, and Europe has different laws about that. It's not that they were evil. It's just they were misapplying it in a different country and they got bit. There's certain things that happen and it's just part of business. I don't think it's evil.
Rusty Fenders, thank you for the super chat. Hi, DNL. You helped me stop looking at the made in sticker. Radius, pots, etc. on guitars. Just play them and you'll know. Thanks for the knowledge.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Rusty. Yeah.
All right. I'm not reading that comment, but look what Jeffrey Egan said.
Wait. Oh my god.
Okay.
Dude, that's funny. Oh, that's funny.
Rusty Shackelford. Hey, Dylan, was wondering if the Telly Bridge pickups sound the way they do because the different magnetic field picks up different frequency, or because it affects the string movement differently?
No, not the string movement. What it is the there's a metal plate on the bottom and it changes the shape of the magnetic field. It makes it fatter. So think of a Strat. A Strat magnetic field looks like this, and a Telly Bridge pickup looks like this. The reason that's important is because the coil is a square, right? So it changes physically in the coil where and how much of the coil makes how much voltage or how much inductance. So it changes where in the coil the inductance happens. Yeah, super cool.
Super chat from Doc. Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, Doc.
He says, congratulations. You know you're successful if the Harley Benton of pickups is ripping off your designs.
I mean, it was bound to happen.
Congratulations.
It was bound to happen. Thank you for the super chat, Doc.
I also think it's funny he sent in a super chat because then I had to read it.
Right?
Oh, I didn't say that out loud. That's weird. It's not a challenge.
It's not a challenge.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
No, I'm worried. Brian Phelps, Nag's shop is not far from PRS. I live close to both. The film Ignite did an interesting interview with him.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't get to actually watch it. I did see the thumbnail on it, though. I was going to catch that pretty soon.
Brian Phelps, I'm curious to see your take on the MXR Duke of Tone pedal.
Oh, dude, I have it right here.
Did you do a video?
No, not yet, because I just got it today. Or, well, I got it yesterday. Here's what I'll tell you. I've got another TS style pedal coming. I can't talk about it yet, but it's coming. I got the Moxie from Wampler a couple weeks ago. We did a video on that. I am an analog man, king of tone person. I have had a real one in the past. I told a guy yesterday I'd never do a hit piece on anything. And he's like, I think you should. I don't like this thing. It's okay in a couple of settings. I mean, I can make it sound good. It sounds fine. I don't like how it... Well, wait for the video, but when you change features here, what it's trying to do is put a whole king of tone in this baby pedal with this switch, and I don't like how it does it. That being said, I've had a real king of tone, and this is not it. If you didn't compare this to a real king of tone, you'd probably like it.
So you're saying you're a snob.
I'm saying I'm a snob.
A sword. A sword. You don't say
A
sword.
sword.
What do you say? It's sword?
Do you remember that?
You don't say the W,
Remember
right?
the Sean Connery on Jeopardy thing? No, that's before you were alive.
Sean Connery on Jeopardy.
Yeah,
What?
it was.
How
I
long
can't
has
remember.
Jeopardy been around?
I can't remember who was playing Sean Connery on Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live,
Oh.
but it was S words, and he's like, swords. And he's like, no, S words, swords. It was so funny. Anyway, sorry.
I guess you had to be there.
You had to be there. It was funny.
Can you talk a little on causes of buzz, which is mostly the cause, with some reference to the nut and bridge height?
Okay. Oh, you're talking about fret buzz. So, this is how I would troubleshoot. First things first, get your truss rod. And I'm going to do a video on this because I argued with Matt at Texas Toast and totally lost this argument.
So you're going to do a video about you lost?
I did. I'm going to do a video about how I think the very first thing you should do with that guitar that you're talking about, with the buzz problems, is set your truss rod so that your neck is 100% completely flat. Then, check your nut height and make sure that it is between 15 and 20 thousandths. And then check your string height at your 12th fret and make sure that it's, let's go 70 thousandths as a starting point. And see if you have any buzzes. If you still have buzzes after that, try to pinpoint where those buzzes are, mark them with a Sharpie, and it's probably you have a high fret at that point, but I would check that stuff first.
So apparently folks know what you're talking about.
Oh, on
And
Saturday
they
Night Live.
said Daryl Hammond was Sean Connery.
That's right.
And then somebody said, the rapist for 400, please.
Because it was a therapist, and he was like, the rapist for 400, Alex. And he's like, excuse me, that's therapist. The
Why do
rapist.
you remember all this?
Dude, it was so funny. I actually had a Saturday Night Live best of thing on VHS when I was like in my early 20s probably. And we used to watch it when it was snowing outside and stuff. Yeah. It's super funny.
I don't even know what to say to all that. All right. Ryan Thomas, do you make Filtertrons? I'm wanting to build a Carbonita, plus I have a Gretsch Electromatic that I want to do a swap in. Would love to try your pickups. Yeah. Fat Philosopher already told him no. But
No.
Mark Hott, are you still selling wired Strat scratch cover? I don't know what that means.
That's what some people in other countries call a pick guard. A scratch plate.
Oh.
Or a
But
scratch
he said
cover.
scratch cover. Where's
Yeah.
Mark Hott at?
I don't know where Mark Hott is. I was wondering that because I thought he was in this country, but maybe he is and he's not from here. Yes, you can go to Dylan Talks Tone, go under the Strat section, and you'll see it there.
So do you have like some alt text on your image or something so you can call it a scratch cover or scratch guard for people who don't call it a pick guard?
So it shows up in search stuff?
Yeah.
I probably should.
Alternative text is really good for SEO also.
Good to know.
It still should make sense in case somebody's actually using a screen reader, though, for the record. So don't just put it's not like hashtags. Don't like put some rambly stuff in there. Make some sentences.
Accessibility person here.
Ken Stouffer, on the topic. I love exploring new shapes, but the familiar shape are what sells.
True.
Ken Stouffer, way off topic. Dig the shoey. Reminds me a bit of Kevin Wyndham's lid from the mid-2000s.
That's exactly what that is. That is a 2006 shoey. That's the helmet that saved my life. You can't see it from here, but it's broken and it's all dirty. There's a split right in the crown, and that helmet saved my life. That's why I keep it on my desk. Well, I broke my back in 4 places, broke 3 ribs and my shoulder blade. And yeah.
Angel Raven, YouTube is holding your comment, and I guess the difference being somebody squished it all together when they said the rapist and it was therapist, but they made a similar joke, but it has just the word, and I'm assuming that's why I can't release it, because maybe you can't say rapist.
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully we're not going to get demonetized because we said it.
But it won't let me do anything with it. It's just like,
that must be why.
Like, nope, can't do it.
Hopefully we don't get demonetized over a friggin' Saturday Night Live.
I mean, it's hidden. Like,
I know, but I'm saying us saying it.
Oh.
I mean, us saying it, yeah.
Anyway. You're playing with a knife. That seems threatening.
I am.
I feel threatened.
Do you? Oh, speaking of that, everybody on my Instagram and in my Facebook comments and in my YouTube comments over the last 2 or so years who has told me to get a Spider Paramilitary 2. And I was like, no, I'm not really a Spyderco guy. This is probably one of the best knives I've ever got. So thank you for bugging me about it. Because when I was in Colorado, I went to Spyderco and they had this knife. And this is a CPMS 45 VN blade, and it's coated and everything. It's really cool. But anyway, I have never had one of these, and it is really good. So thanks to everybody who bugged me about this.
Mark Hott said he lives in California. He's friends with Marshall.
Oh, my brother?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. I think I knew that.
Well, maybe that's why you thought he lived in this country.
Yeah, I think maybe I knew that. Okay, cool. It's weird the people that know my brother.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Egan, how different can you get with a guitar shape and it still be comfortable and ergonomic?
That's really it, right?
I saw some. Ken Stover said he wore a replica. He was the one that commented on the helmet. I wore a replica of Pikes Peak. I love him. And then he said, I don't know in relation to what you were saying at the time, but he said just that, let's ride.
I've met Kevin a couple of times.
And Doug Santaniello said he's on the same train with the Saturday Night Live. He said Will Ferrell played Alex Trebek.
That's right. That is right.
Fat Philosopher wants you to rank your passions: bikes, cars, guitars, knives, watches, cameras.
Motorcycles number one.
But you also have to put bicycles in there because you also like bicycles.
Motorcycles, cars, bicycles, guitars, bicycles. No.
And then you have knives, watches, and cameras.
Motorcycles, cars, cameras, bicycles, guitars, knives, watches.
Cool.
Yep.
Alan Pettibone just ordered a Texas Toast Saturday Night Special. Thanks to you guys and your introduction of them to me. Thanks.
Awesome, man. That's good to know. I like knowing that. We have a lot of audience crossover. So Matt and I sometimes will sit and drink coffee and be like, hey, did this person think of, come from you to me or me to you? Like, and wonder how that goes, because we really like that. I love the fact that that happens. I think it's really neat. Just grows a huge community. That's really cool.
Top Load Telly says, now let's get you some Olight gear. It's wicked good.
Dude, please get in the actual comments of this video. I am actually shopping for flashlights right now. Because we got caught out a couple of weeks ago looking for my daughter's dog in the middle of the night. And I was like, I need a good flashlight in the car. So we have a Leatherman. I put a Leatherman in the car. Of course, I always have a knife. And we put a crappy flashlight in the car. But I want a good one. And then I want a couple good ones for the van. And I don't want them to be good. And my criteria for the ones for the van is I want the double reverse clip, because I wear a baseball cap all the time, or a lot, so that I can clip it on my hat. So like if I'm doing something RV related, campground related, that I can clip it on my hat and walk around at night and do it. If you have ideas for that, or anybody else does, put it in the comments. Because I am seriously, literally was on a couple of EDC websites last night looking for that.
Angel Raven 444 says, my best knife my dad gave me, his cherished World War II bayonets, which have a unique groove down the blade that allows the knife to be pulled out without sticking.
Yeah, they call that a blood groove.
Oh, nice.
And people think that it's for the blood to squirt out. But actually what it is, it's sort of like on our kitchen knife where it has those dimples in it so that it doesn't stick when you pull it back up. Same thing. And also that's for weight relief as well. Now, modern day. Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Timothy Potter says, do you like big folders? Oh, if so, I have a Ned Foss for you.
What? I like big folders. Heck yeah. So, since we're talking about this, and we're over time anyway, and it's kind of off topic.
We digress after 9.
Somebody in my comments on Facebook, somebody who follows me a lot, it was actually Stan Burt from Australia, asked me today, he's like, what is your decision-making paradigm for knives? Like, how do you choose them?
Can we make a flow chart?
Like a bubble flowchart thing? I want to be able to carry it. I want it. I don't really have anything so big that I can't carry it. I even have an MKM fixed blade from Italy that's small enough that I can carry it. I really like that. That being said, if I had a huge folder, I'm also looking for camp knives for the van. So I care about that. It has to be fidgety because I'm really trying to stop biting my nails. And when I have a knife in my hand, that's probably the most effective thing. I like them to have a belt clip, but I also, a pocket clip, but I also care about like gentlemen's folders that just go in your pocket. I'm a knife for every occasion person, so I will literally go into my collection and like, this is what I'm wearing. This is so dumb, but this is what I'm wearing today. This is how I'm going to carry it, and I picked a knife accordingly. I care more about materials than anything. I do not have anything. I have a Civivi Damascus that's Chinese because Civivi is Chinese. But that's the only Chinese knife I have. I don't have anything cheap because I care about the metal. VG10 is probably the lowest quality blade that I have. So I really care about materials because I really nerd out about metallurgy. This comes from my machining background, but I really care about metallurgy and machining and fitment and engineering, and I just really like the neat stuff. So that's why. That's why I'm so into them. It's not because I'm some weird knife guy who lives in his mom's basement. It's because it's an engineering thing to me. It's
because we don't have basements here.
We don't have basements.
Just kidding.
Yeah, if your mom had a big basement, I would live in your mom's basement. I'm not lying. We've already lived in her spare room once.
Ken Stouffer says, guys, you've become my favorite hour of the week. Clearly the best marketing campaign ever. I'll be buying more. See you next week.
Thanks, Ken.
And Angel Raven 444 says, yeah, this is a great stream. Too bad they don't talk about Sasquatch and UFOs in Atlantis. LOL. I think we've talked about UFOs and Sasquatch. We've not talked about
Atlantis. I don't know enough about Atlantis to... You know what we need to do?
Research.
No.
Watch a documentary. I don't know. What?
Let me ask you something.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to float this right now. Because this is really fun. We talk about this. Right before we started, you're like, I would rather just go to bed right now. I'm tired. But after dinner tonight, too, we went and had Indian food for dinner. And I was like, man, I am dragging, you know? But now I'm stoked. This is so fun because you all are here.
And now we won't go to bed till like 1 a.m.
No, because we're all jazzed. Like, this is really fun. But one of the things that I want to do more with the channel is share this stuff. Like the after 9 o'clock tangenty stuff is really fun.
Maybe
Sasquatches
we'll digress after 9. They can jump off if they want or not.
Do we flip over to Patreon at 9 o'clock? Or do we just do it?
No, I think
we just do it.
I think we just do it. And then if there is
if there's interest from 9 to 9:30, we'll do this.
If we need to if it's popular and we need to do like a
or if our light dies.
Like a Ask Me Anything, we can do that on Patreon.
That's true too. We could do a Ask Me Anything for Patreon and for YouTube members. We'll send out a link and do it.
Anyway.
Because we have that already. I'm supposed to be doing one of those a month. So we should just do that.
Robert R. wants to know if I play guitar and shred. That would be a no.
That would be a no.
What do you think about Smith & Wesson knives?
I have one. It's a little thicker for I don't carry it very often. That's kind of like it's the knives you keep in the drawer to grab to do something. But I do have one. Yep, I do have one.
Doc says, hell yeah, the nerdy tangential stuff is the most fun.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely do an alien Sasquatch Atlantis thing. I don't know anything about Atlantis.
We can do it before then, though. I can know something before next week.
But
let's not talk about it.
Okay, we won't talk about it right now.
I mean, you and I won't even talk about it before we get on here.
Oh, do you think we should independently research?
Yes.
And then, oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
What do you think? Let me know. That's
okay. And then, okay, so Atlantis is not Atlanta.
No.
Somebody says, isn't it Atlantis in Georgia?
No.
Nope.
No.
It's not.
No. And it's not the gambling place in New Jersey either. That's Atlantic City.
I just saw some. Fat Philosopher, of course, says you need to get some Japanese knives. They're the best in the world.
You have a Japanese Spyderco. I have a Japanese Spyderco. I have 2 Japanese Spydercos. Yeah. I will tell you, Fat Philosopher.
Brian Phillips said, what guitar shape does Sasquatch prefer? And Jeffrey Egan said, go look at Dylan's t-shirts on his website.
That's right, because I do have a Sasquatch t-shirt on website. Oh. It's our most popular t-shirt. It really is. It's on Dylan Talks Tone to the gear thing. Fat Philosopher, so I'll tell you something. I have been... You can ask her because I watched nothing but YouTube videos.
Oh, we have a weird shadow now.
About katanas.
Yes. Oh my god.
For like a week. I was like, but you have to
tell you about them, how they're made and forged, and
you have to spend a lot of money to get a good one, and I really, really want one. But that's kind of down the road. But I really want one. I don't want to cut anything with it. I just want to put it on the wall and have it because I think it's cool. You know, sort of like a Les Paul or an expensive Paul Reed Smith. Bringing it back around.
Yeah. And the light is terrible, and we're overtime, and people are just now tuning in, I think. So, like, the comments are, like, recycling from old stuff earlier in the show. So, I don't know if that means you, like, stay on longer, or I don't know.
That's what happens, yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And next week we'll do that at 9 o'clock. I guess we're talking about Atlantis. I'll actually put it in the thumbnail, too.
So specifically Atlantis.
Yeah.
We shouldn't start in order. You could talk about Sasquatch first and sell your shirt.
Oh, yeah. Go to DylanTalksTone.com. Gear, Sasquatch shirt. You would really like it. It's the most popular one. It's the one I'm most proud of, too.
And it gets the most attention when he wears it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, actually, the one that gets me the most attention is this shirt is stupid. I could walk down the street and people will just start randomly laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing at me? And I realize that I'm wearing this shirt. It's kind of funny. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will see you on Monday with a video about a Telecaster.